Oh, hi there. Today we're going to do something really fun and casual and chill, and that is discuss the ever-personal decision as to bringing life into the world. I do want to preface this video with just saying I literally don't know who you are. There's no way of knowing who is watching this, you know what I mean? And I'm just saying that, like, if you were in the car, get in. We're gonna be sensitive. I could attune myself to knowing you and maybe your history, and like we could have discussions. But this is just a monologue of a crazy lady in a vehicle by herself. I'm in a parking lot in the middle of nowhere. High trees. So with that being said, I know some of you at least were interested in it's gonna go down when I shove a living human out of my bits. I am going the a la natural route. I'll explain, I guess, what that means to me. I feel very fortunate that where I live, there are just like hella hippie granola women and people everywhere that are just calming and full of nuts. To my understanding, there's basically like 3 options other than just giving birth anywhere. You never know. You can do an at-home birth. You can also do birthing in like a birthing center. I would say actually there's even technically like 4 options, because there's also obviously hospitals, but there's at some hospitals like a separate kind of area that's like a birthing center, but it's still technically in the hospital, but it's not as hospital feeling to my understanding. So I would say like 3.5 options. But really the world is your oyster. Squeeze that thing out at your grandma's, squeeze that thing out in a taxi, squeeze that thing out on a water slide, baby. But personally, yeah, I hope to do it at this center. So I have chosen a center, and one of the things that I'm excited about is that it is a water birthing center. So another thing to kind of keep in mind that I didn't know beforehand was a lot of places will kind of mislead you, hopefully not actually a lot, but just make sure you're not being misled, that they'll present a bathtub to you where you can labor in, but legally they won't let you have the actual child in. Alien, whatever's coming out of you, you know? So for example, in a hospital, at least to my understanding, I don't think the rules as of today's date have changed, at least in the States, due to literal like legal liability baloney, in my opinion. Once you get to the point where you're actually like, the ham is coming out of the oven, they won't let you do that in any other position than on the bed, because like a liability if somebody were to slip in your fluids or something, blah blah blah. So just something to be aware of if you want to do like the full experience in a tub, which I personally do. Ideally, dead ass, if I was like Gwyneth Paltrow, I would have had it in like an ocean full of dolphins. But I don't own Goop, so we're just doing it at this center. I'm not saying this literally at all to pressure anybody or anything. I've known a fair amount of human beings that have given birth, and many of whom have given birth in a hospital, many who have chosen to not, and it does just seem like the experience of not doing it in a hospital is a little bit more in line with my preferences for many reasons. First of all, hospitals suck. I think we can all agree on that. Who has good memories in a hospital? Hopefully nurses, because you like your jobs. A lot of people in my family work in the medical field. This is nothing against any individual or like specific hospital or practice. Like, I really like my doctor. I'm very lucky and fortunate to have good relationships and things, but the hospital doesn't really feel like a place where advocating for yourself is always the easiest thing. I really recommend, no matter what you're doing there, if you or someone you love is like having procedures or having something done, like make sure that you have somebody that can advocate for you well, and I mean that like across the board. Whereas the idea of like home birth or like specific centers, specifically the one that I've chosen, the vibes, yes, the vibes. Again, more in line with what I'm looking for. Obviously your house, you can do whatever you want, you know what I mean? Like you can have your pets there. The place that I have chosen, I've toured it, I really liked it. It's basically a bedroom. There's a private bathroom with shower and tub, shower and toilet, and everything is very clean. In the bedroom is like a huge tub for you to do the birthing in. And what was cool too is they have those things that you can kind of like stretch and lean on, but they also have those silks that you could put all your weight in. So if you want to squat, and like they have squatty potties, like they were showing me they have all the things that just help you get into a little more relaxing of a position, and obviously allow gravity to kind of help you drop the biggest load of your life, because for some of you, diet is key, people. They showed me like you can turn the lights down low. They have like essential oils, and you could bring whatever if you wanted to. You can play your own music, and it just feels like a nice calming environment. And the people that are there are very calming but supportive and encouraging. And so yeah, I'm pretty excited that that's just an option for me, because depending on where you live, like that's just not an option at all, or it's like an hour away. And for me, it is very close to my home, which is good, because I've just like known some people where their water broke, and then within 3 hours that baby was out. But the first hour they were like, oh, I'll stay at home and like eat something, get some energy, take a shower. And then the second hour was just them in the car for an hour. And I'm like, the idea of being like that far along in your contractions in a car, that's just like the worst. That seems terrible, because I do think obviously it's very important to be aware of safety. The only way that they will allow you to give birth at the center is if you are a low risk pregnancy. So far, fortunately, again, for me, I'm very grateful and lucky and blessed that I currently and hopefully continue to be in that category. So as long as everything stays good to the end, I should be able to do everything there. But typically, to my understanding, again, speaking to people that have a lot more experience in this area, if something is going to go wrong, there usually are signs earlier along the way. That is obviously not to say that things can't happen very quickly, because they do. And like my primary care doctor was like, I've seen women come in and people come in where I just think like if only they had been in the hospital, because they wouldn't have lost that much blood, things could have just gone a lot better. So obviously that is very much something to keep in mind. For me, hearing that does and did and even talking about it now, it's like, oh, what are we doing? Why did I get pregnant, honestly? For myself, and again, only for myself, I just feel like I can do it naturally, and that really would be my preference. It really would be my preference to not do it in a hospital. And the only thing making me second guess or doubt that is when I hear stories or people telling me that I shouldn't, and it does obviously create fear in me, and that makes me second guess things. But I don't think, in my opinion, for myself and only myself, that is a good enough reason to do it in a hospital. Again, I really hope everything goes well, and I just think we're all trying to make our own choices and the best choices that we can, so what more can you do? But the place that I am going to, they have basically everything up until an operating room there. So obviously they could not provide a C-section or anything like that if it were to come to that. But while they don't offer epidurals, they do have IVs. They have nurses on staff and people who are trained and qualified to take care of certain things. But if things start to look wrong, it is a 2-minute and an ambulance ride away from a major hospital here, and it's a good hospital. It's a 6-minute drive in a normal car, so it's a good location, and I feel good about it. Again, obviously everybody should be making their own choices based on their own lives and everything, but I was there when my sister gave birth to my niece, and it is permanently ingrained in my brain, and I tell everybody this, but I'm like, I don't even know how this is allowed. But then one of the nurses that was working at the time had fake acrylic nails that were, I am not exaggerating. I am not lying. There is nothing happening other than the God honest truth. This individual had, I have long nails. I'm sure they were beautiful. I'm sure they were expensive. Vile when they're going in my body, though. She was just jamming those things into my sister, and I literally was like, do you need me to say something? Do you need to get a different nurse? I'll do that for you politely, because this, my mom is a nurse. She's never been allowed to have nail polish, much less fake nails, because if you get a little chip, she works in surgery, or she used to, and it's if you get a little chip in somebody's body, you can't have that. But you could just stick your 5-inch manicured hands into my vagine? What the? Absolutely not. I'm just hoping for a chill and a calm experience. And I'm about to say something personally for myself. I'm just like, dude, I just think this can be not that serious. That's a bad way of phrasing it, but it's the closest that I have. I really am just like, people have done this since the beginning of literally humankind, because how else would we all be here? And I'm not saying it's gonna be a comfortable experience. I'm not saying that it's gonna be pleasant, but I don't think it needs to be something that is inherently feared. I think the media and movies do a very negative job on our psyche. I get it, we're here for the drama. I'm here, Grays, but it's not realistic, and I think also it just doesn't have to be realistic. Yes, if for you or someone else, if you're a screamer and that like works for you, congrats. Like, again, I'm literally not talking about anybody else, but for myself, I just really feel like knowing my own body, knowing my own mind, knowing what I'm capable of, knowing what my pain tolerance is, knowing that my family history, no one in my family has ever had an epidural, and I am not going to be the first to crack. I have pride and some rude relatives. But I remember my sister telling me, she's had a couple kids, you know, she showed them out, and she said, yes, you are in pain, but it isn't pain like I just broke my arm and like your brain is going off of like something dangerous is happening, or like she's like, it's a different kind of pain. And if you can kind of just mentally know that time will pass, this is a thing, and yeah, it sucks. And again, it's no shame or anything to anybody if you decide to take pain meds, or because your body is different. Everybody is, and we all have our own experiences and stuff. But for my own, I know I said it 1,000 times, but I just hope it is clear. I'm not saying I'm gonna leave and be like, oh, hardest yoga class I ever did. It's gonna be over at some point, and like ideally by this time tomorrow it'll be behind you and you'll be at like this really cool next stage of your life. Like for me, those are the things that I want to focus on more than everybody. Like when I say like, I'm just gonna squeeze it out, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be chill, because that's what I want. So that's what I keep saying. And the reactions that I get to that, people immediately jump to like, oh, like they just have to say all this negative stuff or just like rebuttal or like rebuke me. And I get that like maybe your experience wasn't that, and you know, I think it's very normal in our society to just be like, haha, that's what you think. But I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna talk to you. Like, literally, I've told people that I'm pregnant, and then when they've given me certain reactions, I just block their number. It's my body and I'll do what I want. I just don't know why we wish like so much ill upon other people. Like I'm just like, dude, I just want it to be a calm, chill, happy experience, and I think that it can. And if it isn't, then I'll find out when it isn't. Like, but let me live till then. Jeez, get off my back, mom. I guess some other reasons, just if you're someone that's interested in this stuff, I don't know, take it, do your own research, look into your own things, talk to people. I don't know, I haven't done it yet, but to my understanding, some of the pros of having children without an epidural, having them as naturally as possible, one of them is you can eat while you're doing the deed, you know what I mean? And that sounds good to me. I've read stories of women who have said that just like drinking some apple juice or just consuming just like a little bit of something light in the middle of like literally your contractions and of like pushing and everything really did just like give them a little energy boost, which makes sense to me. And the place that I'm going to too, like they're also very in line with that. Like they showed me all the snack, like they have like a whole snack area. So while it's all going down, you can have a little pick me up. But also as soon as you're done, because you don't have to wait for any of the drugs to leave your body, you can immediately, if you're interested in breastfeeding and planning on doing that, you can immediately stick that sucker to your goods, you know what I mean? And by doing so, it supposedly makes a really big difference, and from what I've heard from people that have gone through it, they have felt like it's made a really big difference in breastfeeding moving forward and how the latching process and everything goes. So that's also a plus to me. Additionally, I know a woman who she had an epidural, and literally the spot where they injected it, like, do you know how big that needle is? Literally the epidural scares me more than just having my shit torn apart. And I hope that doesn't happen, but I know someone who spot where they injected it, like every time she goes in the shower and hot water hits it, or cold, like anything, like it's just like pain through her entire body, and that's never left. And I feel like I'm not trying to scare anybody right now if you're interested in that, or if it's something that you're considering and you're gonna make in the moment. I'm really not, that's not my goal with this. For me, like, that's scary. Like, I know another girl who was telling me, like, cause she could feel it rising a little too high, and like, I don't remember the details because I was getting a facial she was telling me, but in my opinion, there's just going to be pros and cons and potential outcomes with everything. So I just think that it's worth looking into both and being educated on both, and then picking what feels better for you based off that information. And I would look at multiple resources, I would speak to multiple people and get opinions that don't align with yours. And I think that with everything, like if you're only following one type of knowledge or media source or whatever it is, like you're just gonna hear the same thing, you know what I mean? And another thing I think is just important to hear is every singular person that I have heard that has given birth has told me the same thing, where there is gonna come a time where you feel like you're gonna die. You literally feel like, I cannot do this anymore. This is the end of times. And as long as, again, everything is going safely, that is the moment where you have like a couple minutes. Like you're literally at the finish line and you're right there. And for me, that was just really helpful, I think, to hear. Like my sister told me, like there both times, like there was a point where she was like, I can't do this. But she said if you have a good midwife or a person with you helping you through the process, they should remind you that that means you're at the end. It's just that little push. In a couple minutes, this is all gonna be behind you. And literally, what is a couple minutes? Like, put your favorite song on and just wait for the end. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to give any advice, but if I was going to give any, it's just like, have faith in yourself. You got it, man. And I think it's just like, hope for the best and be able to ahead of time think through, okay, if that happens, what do I want, and communicate that with someone else in the room so that they can also maybe do more of the talking for you, and you can just be like, yes, that, just nod and point kind of a deal. That's my plan anyways. But I don't know, I really think like this is something that is very doable. It's gonna be an experience for sure, but I'm really just trying to enjoy all of it, I guess. And I don't know, not everybody can do this. You know, not everybody gets to. And so I guess I am just trying to remember to like appreciate it. And obviously that's so much easier to say right now because I'm not in pain and shoving a watermelon out of my beautiful tiny hole, but we're all in this together. I don't know the words. I was too old. Sorry. Anyways, you got it, my friend. You got it. It's gonna be fine. I'm literally just like, be positive about it. Laugh about it. Like, that's my plan. And we will see. I will record the footage. And if like, like if I'm cursing my own words, then let me curse them in the future. But until then, like, fearing and worrying and like getting yourself worked up about this is literally not going to do anything other than harming yourself, harming the thing inside of you that you're creating. And I'm not even trying to say that to make you extra worried or feeling bad, but it's like, I don't know, I think it's cool, and it can be something that can be looked at as really cool and just a new experience, or maybe it's your 5th time. I don't know. Live your lives, folks. Personally, I'm gonna wrap it up, but anyways, I'm also gonna wrap up this video. So, wear condoms, like my video, subscribe. If you have any questions for me or for others or anything, feel free to put them below. I like to talk about this stuff. I think it's good to, like, even if you're never planning on giving birth or anything, I just feel like this is stuff that should be talked about. Like, it's so crazy to me hearing all the experiences that like people I know have had and have happened to them after birth. Like, I'm not gonna spill anybody's direct tea or names, but somebody very close to me, their whole bladder fell out of their body. It was falling out post their 2nd child, and I was like, excuse me? Because that's what you gotta do to your bed. Which is what you gotta do to your bladder, but like, that is crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. on that beautiful note, I hope you're all doing well. It's all gonna go amazing. Sweeties, you've got this. You've got this. All right, see you in the next one.